Hey everybody, Cursing Bulldog here. Been a while since I've made a movie, or a video I should say, and that's because I've been extremely busy. I've moved states, I've got a new job, I got married, tons of stuff, takes up a bunch of time. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you one of my recent purchases here. It was, so I think it's a Ficus retusa. I'm not exactly sure on the species, but it's a ficus of some kind. And I purchased this this week, in fact, from a club auction from my local club. Pretty good price. I say you look online on eBay, you see trees this size probably going for, I don't know, at least 600, probably somewhere up to maybe 5,000, depending upon what time when you get on there. But I got it for a little under 200. So that's a real good deal, I feel. So let's give you a quick overview or spin around the tree. See the root of a rock. It's got a nice, looks like some sort of coral rock. I'm not sure. It's a white, pretty porous pumice-like rock. There's a large branch going off there and here. There was a branch here, from my understanding, that was removed. This is a tree that was designed by committee before I came back to the club, and they decided to remove that branch. Let's see, it's already starting to get some new shoots coming over there, so that wound should heal up nicely. I believe this is what they envisioned for the front. We'll see about that. I know that I want to bring this branch here more forward. So I think that's a pretty big branch, so we might have to use a rebar to get some leverage on there. We'll see. Spinning around, you can just see how the age of the trunk, based on all of these roots, how thick they are, and for a tropical tree grown in a less than tropical part of the country, it's got some pretty good growth and pretty good age on this tree. So. Some other things, probably reduce the height here. Not sure how I'm going to do that yet. Probably just bring this down eventually. Not now, let it handle the winter, and the next spring, early summer is when we'll do major work on it. But yeah, it's already growing out tons of new growth from the main branches. So we'll see about that. And so I've kind of already talked about the cost of this. I might tack on to this. This is a short video, just briefly go over, maybe some eBay stuff, because that's the best way for novices to, if you don't have a nursery or a club handy, that's the easiest way to get a hold of trees that are in a semi-finished state, such as this, where you can show them off and people don't just look at you funny. So we'll take a look at that probably here in just a minute. Okay, I just wanted to get a little bit more close up here. I realized just looking back at that video, it was a little hard to see what I was talking about with this wound, but you can see is quite a large branch, bigger than what's left of the main branch here in diameter. But see, right here towards the base, and then off this side, there's already some new shoots growing in there. So that'll help keep good growth, or sap flow along the edge of this wound. And the more sap flow you have, the faster that tissue will callus over and cover up that wound. So we'll come back to this tree here probably later I say in the spring, early summer sometime. Once I've had a chance to kind of talk with the people who did the design work on it, see where they thought it should go, and kind of get my ideas again. Just tilt that back up here a little bit. This branch here, it's pretty good size, about the size of my thumb. So I think that's going to be a little hard to wire. So I'm envisioning stringing in a chunk of rebar across here, and then using that other branch to just kind of wedge it and bring it forward some. So I think that's the only way to get any sort of leverage on there, because I say the main open part of the trunk here is just, it's a little bare. Probably bring this back or use some of the growth back here, just kind of get some foliage into this space. And let me see that. Yeah, okay. And then bring that branch forward some will help. So I feel probably do a similar sort of thing with this main branch here. Bring this, at least this branch here, forward some, just to kind of close in the design a little bit. Bring everything a little closer to the trunk, and then again bring that top part of the trunk down some, so that way it's a little bit shorter, squatter, fatter tree, a little bit more in that banyan style. And we'll see. I don't know a ton about this variety of tree, but if we can get some aerial roots to form, that'll probably help really sell that style. Quickly, just take a look at the pot. Excuse the wiggliness there. I have a tripod, but it broke, and it's held together with duct tape right now, so it's kind of wobbly. I need to buy a new one. Christmas ideas, anyone? So here you go. You see, it's got this blue pot. It's not really right for the tree. It's a little bit too deep, and it could stand to be wider. So probably go down to, what is that? That's probably about a 3-inch or so inch deep pot. Probably go down to 2 inches, and then maybe get another pot that's, I haven't measured the width of this pot yet, but probably at least, I don't know, 2-3 inches wider than it is now. Just give the tree a little bit of space and create a little bit, a little bit better planting angle and whatnot. Give us some more room to maneuver the pot and create a little bit more of a scene with it. So anyway, that's it for the tree. Now we'll jump to eBay a little bit. Alright, here we are on eBay, and I've got searching for bonsai trees, and I've searched from highest first just to give you an idea. You can see here we have a huge tree going for $67,000. No one in their right mind would buy this tree, but that is the reason why it is $67,000. That is looks like a man's hand. And you can see the trunk is wider than his hand. That's probably good. Oh, I don't know, 8-inch thick trunk, if I had to guess. Maybe 6, depending upon the size of your hand. But, and see, just knowing that, and there's a little styrofoam cup. You can just see the size of that tree. That's the sort of trees that go for, thousands upon thousands of dollars. So we'll jump down here. Here's I said that's another nice one, $34,000. I say again, another huge tree coming down, starting to get price drops off fast. $6,000. That tree, I don't know if it's worth $6,000, but there's no scale. So that's the biggest pet peeve of mine on eBay, is that people do not put, a scale picture to show you the size of the tree. You can't judge a tree on price based on, $5,000, and that's the only image you get. So, coming down more, I say still in the $4,000 tree range. So here's one that's about $3,000, and I looked. This appears to be around the same size as the tree I have. So yeah, that's probably about a 3-inch thick trunk there. That's about the thickness of the trunk right above the rock on mine. So this is again a much more developed tree, and it is what do we got, black pine, so that raises the price up. But I don't think my tree is too far off from where this would be after a few more years. Here's a beech, still $3,000. That's got to be roughly the same size. I'm not saying these trees aren't worth it. I'm just saying I got a pretty good deal, and I wouldn't pay this much. I don't expect anybody to pay this much. This is if you're really see something amazing in a tree. That's the sort of price I would pay. I'm never going to buy a tree worth that much. I'm probably never going to buy a tree over $300 if I can help it. But because part of the joy of bonsai is doing the work. But if you wanted to skip the work and get to something that's in a semi-showable state, you just need to do a little bit of maintenance, then this is the sort of price you could expect to pay for something like that. So Again, coming down here, this is, I think, I didn't see this one before. This would be, I think mine must be a willow leaf. I don't know what this exact price of that is, or species, I should say. But this looks to be the same variety as my tree, and $3,000. Again, there's a Coke can, but I say a hand is really the best way of showing off. Or the Coke a can of pop is pretty good. That's roughly real similar. I say it's a much smaller tree, and the canopy is a lot more developed. So I could see the $3,000 price tag there. But again, that's more than I would want to pay. Probably a little bit more than that tree really is going to get. I don't think there's no bids on that. Most of these up here are the buy it now. They're just give me the money. So coming down again, this is starting to get a little bit more reasonable at the 2000s for these sorts of trees. No, this is what you gotta look out for. $2,000 for a tree in a plastic pot. No, don't buy that terrible deal right there. That person doesn't know what they're selling, doesn't know anything about bonsai, and hoping people who buy this tree don't know anything about bonsai too. So, just skip down here. This 1600 Trident Maple, that is actually probably a pretty good price if you want to pay that much for a tree. It's not bad. The one above it, this is probably the better deal out of these two. You say more developed, much more interesting trunk and sort of tree overall. The pot, I think, is much nicer too than that white pot. So there was one tree I'd seen. I don't know if it's still for sale, but this one, $1,200 for a stick in a pot. Don't buy one of these. If you have a tree like this, realize this tree isn't worth more than $20. And that 3/4 of the price is in that pot right there. A tree like this is near worthless. People thinking they're going to get $1,000 for it are just out of their minds. So I wanted to get down into, we're still above the price I wanted to show you. So I'm going to find the trees. That's a pretty good $900 for that. That's not bad. That's probably a pretty good sized tree. So I'm going to skip down to around the $600, $500 level and see if I see anything that really stands out. Alright, we're down about $400, just under here. A couple of nice groves, that's not a bad price. It looks like it's pretty good, pretty well developed grove. It's not bad. It's lots of trees, good, differences in sizes and everything. $400, that's not horrible price for that. I said this is down in the price range where you can find a real good deal on a tree. So get $320 for that. That's a pretty decent price for a tree like that. Still a little bit more than a novice should probably expecting to pay. Here, this $300 for that. That's way overpriced. You can see all the trees are the same size. They're all planted straight in a line. There's no styling of the tops of the trees. That's about a $80 potting right there. I would say. Again, I wouldn't even bother paying money for something like that. But if you were gonna buy it, something like this, $80. Not worth any more than that. Alright, we're down here closing in on 100. I just saw this picture of this tree. You can't tell much from it, but it looks like it's got a pretty good sized trunk. It looks like it's growing pretty healthily. So there's only one picture here. I don't really want to click on the link, but that if you're looking for a tree at $115 to $130, if you get on there within by before I think December, that'd be a pretty might be worth checking out, looking at. It'd be a pretty decent looking tree for my view. So again, here's what you get. And you get a lot of these little sticks and pots that people think, ooh, I have a Japanese maple and I've put it in a bonsai pot. That makes it a bonsai, so I can charge an arm and a leg for it. At $114, that's not worth it. This one's a little bit more worth it. I still wouldn't buy it. There's not a whole lot going on that tree, but at least you've got a little bit of thickness on that. But again, that's probably a very small tree in a very small pot. it looks like they stick one of these little rocks in here to make it look fancier. So I wouldn't buy that one. You get these fake, fake trees that glass bonsai trees. I don't even know who buys those. If you're gonna get a tree, get a real tree. Don't get a fake tree. So I'll see if I can say this Hinoki cypress. That doesn't look like too bad of a tree. So you can maybe you buy this, you cut it off right in there. Right there. You've got a nice little tree you could work with off this front branch here, if you wanted to, or you could probably gin this branch and come up off something over here and not have too bad of a tree. So hard to say, but this might be something at $110. That might not be a bad buy. So I'm not saying this is the right time of year to buy trees. I said deciduous trees should be in dormancy, so it's not it's not too bad of a time, but it's certainly better in the middle of summer. You would not want to buy a tree on eBay off the middle of summer. You'd want to buy one from club member or a local nursery then. But during the winter, it's not a bad time to buy on eBay. The only thing is if you're buying a tree in dormancy, you won't know if it's dead or not until this spring, or it can be more difficult to tell anyway. So see if I can find one more good tree around this price, and I think I'm gonna call this quits. I guess I should point this out. You see here, if you saw this, that wouldn't be a horrible tree necessarily. I'm not looking too closely at it, but it looks like there might be some potential there. But you've got 3 of the exact same tree. The picture is the exact same for 3 in a row. Avoid that. That's more than likely, they took a picture of a good tree and then they just copy and paste it for all the same. They're not going to look like that. They're probably going to be one tree in a pot, stick in a pot type deal. So I would avoid that. This is a jade tree. That's not horrible. Pretty good looking price there, but it's like artificial. You got to watch out for these. It's the one thing that when you're searching on eBay, you gotta minus artificial, minus faux, minus glass, minus quartz. You'll get your search results, especially if you're doing by dates, by time left in auction. It's a good way to search. You'll get all of these horrible results. So you take out pot, you take out seeds, you take out starter. Because if you're gonna be buying a tree on eBay for the prices that you're showing here, $100, you want to get rid of that. So here's another buttonwood. That's probably a pretty good sized tree, pretty good price at $100. So anyway, I guess here's a good selection of trees here. These Chinese privets. This is not a bad range for the trees. Don't buy a juniper that looks like this, comes straight up and over. More than likely, it's already starting to look a little gray out in the foliage. That thing's already probably dead when you buy it. So don't buy these ones that look too professionally photographed. Here you see all of them are the same style. So that's a pretty good deal. Maybe this is a real seller. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you next time.